All right, military contrarian Douglas McGregor, Colonel Douglas McGregor. This is what he said about what Trump said today when he had his explosive moment.
I think he's afraid of the things that I mentioned earlier. He's very much afraid of the Straits of Hormuz being closed and the potential for direct confrontation with the Russians.
That was in response to
countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Don't think it's possible for the Strait of Hormuz to seriously be closed. So, I mean, take a look at this. So this past Sunday, Marco Rubio urged China to intervene in preventing Iran from shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, which I think this would have happened regardless without Rubio having even said this, because 90% of Iran's oil exports go through the Strait of Hormuz to China. China is the customer for 90% of Iran's oil exports. So they'd be destroying their income, for one thing. And then 45% of China's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz, and then 20% of the rest of the world. So, I mean, forget the rest of the world for a second. Like, China probably has more influence over Iran than any other country in the world. So I don't imagine that they would be okay with Iran doing this. And then Iran, like 40% of their income, their GDP comes from selling oil. Then if 90% of their oil goes to China, this would potentially hurt them more than any other country. And then you got the military side of it. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to put some mines in the ocean. You know, we have mine-sweeping ships, everything that you need to alleviate all that stuff. You can, the ships that go through that area could use convoys. And let's be real, the Navy would annihilate whatever is in that path. But what he says about him being afraid of Russian aggression, look at what Russia's former president said this past weekend. Russia's former president says countries are lining up to give Iran their nukes. Analysts are calling his bluff, but this guy's president of Russia from 2008 to 2012. And he was also downplaying the damage dealt to Iran's vital nuclear sites. Medvedev's exact quote was that the strikes had entangled the U.S. into a new conflict. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. Now, nuclear weapons analysts speaking to Business Insider said that they doubted Medvedev's statement on such transfers was credible because it's, quote, impossible in practice because nuclear weapons are not like a bomb or just something you can carry in a suitcase, says Pavel Podvig, a senior researcher in the United Nations Institute for Disarmament Research Weapons of Mass Destruction program. Nuclear warheads come as an entire system with people who need to be trained to keep and service them safely, as well as maintenance and facilities, equipment, even tactical nukes, which are more portable and produce a smaller blast, need high-level storage, Podvig said. Unless you can create a nuclear program or almost a nuclear program in the country, there's no way to just give your nuclear weapon to them, he said. But the fact that they're comfortable speaking this way, that's a whole different thing. That's a little bit uncomfortable. But I don't think Russia's in a position to take on any more than they're already dealing with. What I'm mostly worried about is the intention of Israel, because what the hell would cause them to completely tank the ceasefire? If you want to know more about that, watch this video right here that I just did. And definitely join the VT research group. That's like the intel epicenter of media right now. We are ahead of everything. God bless.